Hello everybody and welcome to another Stella Sola video. I am Kind Cruelty and in this video I'll be going over the best team compositions for each and every element. Yes, you got that right, the best team composition for each and every element. We will be going over every character in this team and why they are best or not best for specific slots or specific team archetypes. So for more content like this, leave a like and subscribe. And if you are on mobile and you see that hub button, please press on that for me. It does help the channel. So to start things off, we shall start with the fire attribute. But this is basically the summary. If you don't want to watch the whole video, you just want to watch, see what's best to use. This is what's best to use. But if you don't have any of these units for your team, basically the first unit's the main and then the two other supports. But if you don't have any one of these units and you feel like you want to replace one of them, or are wondering why we have a certain unit here and not another unit there, then you will need to basically follow me and come with me down here. So the fire team actually uses Kohaku. They call her Kohaku, but for us it's just Amber. But they do use Amber as the main damage dealer. Now the reason for this is because Amber is an attacker, and although she is a 4-star, she's a valuable long-range attacker. She's got more survivability thanks to that range that she does provide for herself, because she uses her weapons, so she can keep her range from the enemy and deals quite good damage. And Chixia is actually really good as a support. Chixia has a really great support, being able to summon her, what do I call them? The names kind of escaped me. Her serpents, being able to summon her serpents to do her bidding, and summon the tiger that actually does really great damage, and her alt. Basically, Chixia is a really great support, and all her abilities actually allow her to stay off field, especially when you get her ascensions. You can get multiple serpents on the field, get multiple tigers on the field. You get a lot going for you if you get her ascensions. So she is a really great unit to have as a supporter. And then we have Flora. Flora is a really great support. The really great support for the, what's this team called? For the Ignis team. She's a really great support for Ignis, as she brings buffs. She also brings healing if you get some of, what do they call them? Her ascensions. From the ascensions, if you get really great ones, you can see that you'll also get some healing when you land crits, some attacks, some crits, crit damage if you land hits. So she's a really great supporter, and this actually makes this the best team. But we do see that there are substitutes for this. Now, Chixia can be used as the main attacker if you want to use Chixia as the main attacker, but she doesn't have the best survivability as opposed to a Kohaku, because a Kohaku will survive way better than, I know I said Kohaku, and Amber will survive way better than a Chixia when it comes to being the main damage dealer. And Flora is basically untouched here. You only swap Flora for any of these two if you do not have Flora. But if you have Flora, then you can come to these ones. Now, Casemira is not being used because she's a versatile unit, yes, but there is a better versatile unit being Chixia. So if you have a Chixia, you have no reason to use a Casemira. But if you don't have a Chixia, then you can use a Casemira Kohaku Flora, which is a full 4-star team. And at that point, I'm asking you why. Why not just go and use another element team? But then maybe you don't have any other element team and you want the fire team, or you love the fire team, or you're an Ember main or a Casemira main. But then that's when you can. We shall now go on to the next team, being the ice team, the team everybody wants. Now this team is a very flexible team. I say flexible because it can do multiple things. It is really up to the person. So Chito-se is the strongest. If you don't have a Chito-se, you can replace Chito-se with a Frisia. If you don't have a Frisia, why would you do that? But you can play the Shimao, what's her name? I think Shimiao, I forget her name. Forgive me. I've forgotten her English name. But she's also good as an attacker, but why? Okay, so if you don't have a Chito-se, you can do the free save. If you don't have both of them, then you can play Shimiao here. Iris is a really great mainstay for this team, and Teresa is also a really great mainstay. Now, Teresa, the idea about her is that she can block projectiles. She can basically put up some sort of shield that blocks projectiles coming in, which is very useful. And Iris, the best girl, has some really great support capabilities and deals some easy damage. It's not anything to write home about, but it's good. But then if you have a Chito-se and you also have a Frisia, it would be best to replace one of these two. Now, if you're asking me, I'll say replace the Iris. I say replace the Iris because the Frisia will provide more damage, and then you want some sort of survivability as you go higher for the higher stages. It is up to you if you're going to do that, or if you're going to go drop the damage mitigating support and just go full damage with Chito-se Iris Frisia. That also works really well. It really is a choice. It's up to you. Shimiao is Frisia but less powerful, as they say. She isn't as powerful as Frisia, so she's only used when Frisia isn't there. And if you have these three, I don't see why you would replace any of these two with Shimiao. It doesn't make sense, as she doesn't do anything that would make you want to replace any of the two. But maybe if you're struggling for damage and you feel like your damage support, your damage mitigating support, your sustain isn't helping as much, then you put in Shimiao in the place of Teresa. But Teresa is a really great shielder, so really great, you want her there. But hey, you might be a Shimiao main for whatever reason, just like I'm main whoever I main for my own reasons. So I won't judge, and I'll offer you the option that you can replace one of the two. So now we go to the team that doesn't have a lot in terms. Okay, I'm saying this when Terra's still coming, so I take that back. Me saying that this team doesn't have a lot going for it in terms of choices. Terra is way worse. So we'll say Nanoa is the best person to use here because of her range. Yes, she doesn't know how to take a hit very well, but she has immense range that she should never be taking a hit in the first place. So that's the team. Anne is a really strong support. She has a really, really, really strong support with the ability to block projectiles as well. I know I said Teresa was the one who blocks projectiles. That was a mistake on my part. Teresa has the shield. She can block the projectiles. And then Noya. Noya is here purely because there isn't anything better. Yes, I know there is Canis, is it? I hope I'm not butchering her name. There is a Canis. You can play the Canis if you want to. Really, this slot is basically play whoever, because I wouldn't say Noya is better than Canis for any specific reason. They're just units that, as we all know, Noya is the main attacker. So if you want to, you can use her for basically the damage. As they say, there is no particular reason why it has to be Senna. It can be any character. She's the main damage dealer who can deal damage, So she works fine, but to each their own, basically, is what they're saying. Because you don't have much choice in the meta. These two aren't going anywhere, as they are the best of these two. I mean, they're the best of this team. Not much. Unless you don't have a Nonoha, then you replace it with the Noya there, and then you play Canis as the other support and play your 4-star team. If you want to. That is open to you to do. It is yours. But the best team will be these two, and anyone really. Canis or Noya. And then for the Earth attribute, we don't have a choice. I'm not going to spend much time with Earth. It's my favorite team because I like Gary for reasons that shall not be disclosed. I like Gary really, really much. I like her. So she's a close range attacker, so she's prone to getting hit a lot. Although she's prone to getting hit a lot, she has one of the greatest supports in the game who shall keep her alive with heals. So these two are actually the main force of this team. Ridge is just here because we don't have anybody else to use. Like, there is no other Terra unit. So this is the best team. No substitutes, no nothing. Use it or don't. It's really that simple with this team. It is what it is. Take it or leave it type of thing. But she's really strong. She has great AoE. She's really, really strong. Close range, yes, but she's really, really strong. So yeah. Then we have the light team. Another unfortunate team that does not have a great upfront attacker. This and dark are really, really suffering in terms of a damage dealer. You could say Ignis is really suffering as well, but this Lux and Umbra, they're in the pits, but it is what it is. So Minerva is a versatile unit. She can work really well as a support, but then because we don't have a main damage dealer, she has to be the one who's basically doing the damage. She has to pull the weight, and she's a close range attacker, so she can take a lot of hits. So that is a really problem for her. So she needs you to be a bit of a try hard in terms of dodging and everything. But hey, it is what it is. It's better than the rest we have. And then there is Tilia. Tilia has a nice ultimate. I like her ultimate, where she basically buffs slight damage and all that. She's a great support, so you can use her. And then Jingling, like they say, there is no reason it has to be Jingling. It could be Laru if you feel like it. There's the candidate support, basically substitute character. You could substitute Jingling for Laru. It really doesn't really matter there. But then if you don't have a Minerva, then you have to play Laru there, and then that will be the team, basically these three in the team together. But that isn't the strongest core you can find. But then if you have to, that's what you play. But if you have a Minerva, then you can play Tilia and Jingling or Laru. It really is up to you. So versatile units, not much can be said. They deal damage, but they don't deal it that good. And if you're going to be playing a versatile unit in this team, it would be better to be playing Minerva, but then Minerva's the main, so you really don't have much options. And then last but not least, we have Umbra. Umbra has an attacker that is a 4-star, but as an attacker, they are really, really good at their job. So much so that they sort of match up to Mystique as a main attacker. Not as a unit, as a main attacker. Mystique then goes far and above as a support. She's really, really good. They say although its strength is on the same level as Mystique, Caramel has a low rating when used as a support. Basically, as a main force unit, she sort of matches Mystique, but if you're not playing her as a main force, then she has no use. That's what they're saying. Because you cannot in any way bench Cosette. Cosette is the best support in this team if you ignore the Mystique, who also... Basically, these two are the core of this team. Let me just put it that way. These two are the core of this team because Cosette can shred in a way. Available supporter, it's possible to increase the dark attribute damage taken to enemies. So the enemies take more damage when she uses her skills. She causes you to hit harder. So you don't want to replace that with the Caramel who only knows how to deal damage, because you've got a Mystique who can deal damage too. So increasing that damage with the Shredder actually really does help. So Caramel has to be the main damage dealer in this team for those reasons. Now Coronis, you only use her if you don't have the Cosette or if you don't have the Mystique. That's the only place she ever finds use, because Cosette and Mystique are the core of this team and Coronis cannot be the main. So she actually falls behind when it comes to this team. She's used only if you don't have the characters. As they say, if you don't have many characters, we could recommend hiring Coronis as a support. Easy to handle, powerful, damage plus attraction effect. So she does have some form of crowd control, but because Cosette is so good at what she does not find a slot in this team. And now that is it for the video. I hope you liked it. Just so you know, Gary, best girl, Iris, best girl. And that is it for this video. Please like, subscribe, follow me for more Stella Sola content, and I'll see you in the next one.